शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये अगजा आनन पद्मार्कम् गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तम् भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे एकदन्तम् उपास्महे। पाहि गजानन दीनावना पाहि गजानन दीनावना सिन्दूरवदना श्रितजनपालना श्रितजनपालना पाहि गजानन दीनावना अंबिकतनया अमराधीश्वर अंबिकतनया अमराधीश्वर अगणित गुणगण आनन्ददायक अगणित गुणगण आनन्ददायक पाहि गजानन दीनावना सिन्दूरवदना श्रितजनपालना पाहि गजानन दीनावना अंबिकतनया अमराधीश्वर अगणित गुणगण आनन्ददायक अगणित गुणगण आनन्ददायक पाहि गजानन दीनावना गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
पाद नमस्ते गजानना
पाद नमस्ते गजानना
तव पाद नमस्ते गजानना
तव पाद नमस्ते गजानना
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गजमुख वरदा गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणपति ओम जय गणपति
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मूषिक वाहन गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
मोदक हस्ता गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
परम निरंजन गजानना
पाद नमस्ते गजानना
पाद नमस्ते गजानना
तव पाद नमस्ते गजानना
तव पाद नमस्ते गजानना गणपति ओम जय गणपति
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
परतीश्वरा दुख भंजना
ईश्वरा दुख भंजना
दुख भंजना
ईश्वरा दुख भंजना
गणनाथ पाहे गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
कैलाशपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
कैलाशपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
कैलासपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
कैलाशपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
सिद्धि प्रदाता शुभानना जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
सिद्धि प्रदाता शुभानना जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
सिद्धि प्रदाता शुभानना
जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
जगदीश्वर शान्ति
जगदीश्वर
निकेतना
शान्ति निकेतना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
पर्तीश्वरा दुख भंजना
ईश्वरा दुख भंजना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
गणनाथ पाहि गजानना
कैलासपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
कैलाशपते शिवनन्दना दीनानाथ हरे हे निरञ्जना
सिद्धि प्रदाता शुभानना जगदीश्वर शान्ति निकेतना
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 गणनाथ पाहि गजानना ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीना उपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणा ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om Shri Sairam. We begin by offering our collective humble pranams at His divine lotus feet. Loving Sairam to one and all. A warm welcome to this month's Pathway to Prasanthi online satsang session, lovingly brought to you by Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, New Zealand. My name is Santosh, alumni of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning from year 2003 to 2013, currently a member of Sai Center of Howick and Pakuranga, Auckland, New Zealand. This evening, it gives me immense joy and a deep sense of privilege to introduce the guest speaker, Brother Sri Manoj Prakash, who is also my classmate and a very dear Sai brother. About Brother Manoj, born in Bangalore, Brother Manoj comes from a blessed family who have been devoted to Bhagwan for over 3 generations. He has had the rare good fortune of being a student of Swami's educational institution from class 6 in 1998 all the way till his MBA in finance in 2010. During this time, he also completed his BCom at the Brindavan campus and was an active member of the Prasanthi dance group and the Mandir Vedam group. Even now, he continues his academic journey, pursuing an MA in Sanskrit at the Institute of Indic Knowledge Systems with a deep sense of passion for Sanskritam and Indian knowledge traditions. Professionally, Sri Manoj has worked in the financial sector with HDFC Bank and Janalakshmi Microfinance, and later in the development sector with Tata Trust and Azim Premji Foundation. More recently, he also served as faculty member at the Department of Management and Commerce at the Brindavan campus of our institute. In addition to his professional life, Sri Manoj is deeply engaged in several seva activities. He has been a dedicated volunteer in the Sri Sathya Sai Vidya Vahini project for over 7 years and continues to serve through alumni-led initiative such as the Patient Help Desk Seva at Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, palliative care projects in Puttaparthi, and Sri Sathya Sai Palliative and Cancer Care Center that is coming up as a gift of gratitude for Swami's centenary. He is also closely involved with the Sai Dev Talks, a platform that highlights alumni contributions to society. Above all, one of the greatest blessings of Brothers Manoj's life was being chosen by Bhagwan himself to accompany Swami on his trip to Delhi and Shimla in the year 2010. We are truly fortunate to hear Brother Manoj as he shares his personal journey and experiences in being part of Swami's mission. As part of today's session, you're most welcome to post your questions on the YouTube chat box to Brother Manoj, and we will try to take few of them towards the end of the talk. Let us all open our hearts now to receive the message that Swami has for us through Brother Manoj. Over to you, brother.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my prayerful, loving and reverential salutations at the divine and beautiful lotus feet of our beloved Mother Sai. Respected brothers, sisters, elders, youngsters, children, and Sai devotees and dearest Sai devotees who have joined this session online from different towns and cities in New Zealand and few others from other parts of the globe. A loving Sai Ram to all of you. It gives immense pleasure to be a part of this pilgrimage that all of you are undertaking as a pathway to Prasanthi Nilayam. Indeed, this pilgrimage is not just a trip across the continent, but also it beautifully summarizes the journey that each one of us have to take to finding the eternal peace within our hearts. Thank you, Brother Santosh, for reaching out to me and considering me to be worthy enough to address all of you as part of your pilgrimage, as part of your sadhana in reaching Prasanthi Nilayam very soon. We are all amidst the centenary celebrations of Bhagavan. It is such a momentous occasion. If we were to just reflect for a few seconds, we will realize that we are truly the chosen and handpicked ones. For how many could have wished to be the contemporaries of the avatar himself, contemporaries of the supreme entity from whom this entire creation has emerged? But very few souls indeed. And if we have had the opportunity to interact with other Sai devotees, to celebrate the advent of the supreme entity, it is not something that comes our way because of our sadhana or good merit accrued over multiple lifetimes. It is but a shower of grace, and Bhagavan alone knows what could be the reason behind it. At the same time, while we associate ourselves so deeply, so cherishedly, so fondly with the Sai mission, with the name of Sai, with the Sai avatar, with the organization of Swami, we must also realize the humongous burden that we carry on our backs. Well, some might consider it to be a burden, some might consider it to be a blessed responsibility. Many years back, while I was in the higher secondary school, I had read this book authored by Richard Bach. Its title was something to do with illusions, about the arrival of a Messiah. And one of the lines that I had read there has stayed in me forever. He says that every time the divine descends unto the plane of humanity, it does so with only one goal, to say that there is only one path, the path of love, and that all of humankind but belongs to one family. But after the completion of the Advent, it then becomes the responsibility of the followers to take the deep insight in that message and ensure that the message of unity is sustained. But unfortunately, through history, we have seen that after the advent of the divine, whether we like it or not, groups are formed and we begin to follow that particular advent. Swami time and again has mentioned that he has not come to establish anything new, but to rekindle the Sanatana Dharma. And therefore, the mission and therefore the idea of the entire humanity to be bound together under one umbrella of the divine grace and to be bound to each other, but by the relationship of love alone, to ensure that this message of Swami is never diluted. Such is the responsibility that each one of us associated with the name of Sai and Sai's mission that we carry on our shoulders. And so we must ask ourselves at each step that we take, at each program that we organize, at each sadhana gathering, are we truly representing the heart of Swami's message of oneness? It is a beautiful occasion to gather online like this and share one's experiences. And I think sessions like this does more good to the speaker than just to the listeners. Because over the last couple of months, I've had this opportunity to walk through the lanes of my cherished memories, to relive each of those wonderful heartfelt moments, and to recollect them and to be ready to share on this platform. And today I thought I could probably divide the session into three parts: Swami, Sanskrit, and Seva. So let me begin with the very first part, and that is to do with Swami. I would like to share my screen and also project a few photos from my collection. I'm sure the screen is visible now. Swami. So my journey began in the year 1998 is what I thought when I entered the portals of Sri Sathya Sai Primary School in Prasanthi Nilayam. But little did I know that Swami had entered my life much before, when I was being still carried in the arms of my parents. What you see is this very essence of wisdom that Swami has come to impart to entire mankind. Yo vedadau swarah prokto, yo vedante cha pratishtitaha, yaha swaraha vedasya adau proktaha, yatcha vedante pratishtitaha, sahaswaraha omkaraha. That which is chanted before the commencement of the ultimate wisdom, Vedas, and that wisdom that is imparted in the very Upanishads, the pinnacle of Vedas, the Vedanta, is but this Omkara. So it's a great blessing indeed. And what you see on display is that very same slate board and chalk piece on which Swami was so benevolent to initiate me into Vidyarambha. And that Swami would do for many devotees back then. He would either write it in the Kannada Lipi or the Telugu Lipi, or in this case, the symbolic Omkara. Even today, when I look at this, this is the first thing that Swami would want any child to learn. And probably this is the final thing that he would desire that all of us get established firmly in our body, mind, and soul. It is the Omkaram. And so I too was fortunate. And of course, my parents did make me trace over this very Om symbol that Swami has written multiple times thereafter. And this is one of the most treasured possessions that I have till date. And this is a constant reminder to me, as if Swami is telling me that this is the Vidya that you have to gain through your life. This is the beginning, this is the path, and this is the end. The Akara, the Ukara, and the Makara, symbolizing the Omkaram. This is probably one of those earliest photos when I was a student in the primary school. You would see me seated in the front row. On the screen, probably I'm on the left side. There's a watch on my left hand, and Swami is graciously looking upon me. I cherish this photo a lot. Well, I did join primary school, but then only once in a while we get a chance to sit in the front row when we go for morning darshans on Thursdays or Sundays. And one of those occasions, Swami did come close and looked deeply into my eye. I felt the electrifying presence of Swami. I felt the joy of his proximity. And Swami, what was Swami to me back then? What was Swami to me back then is what is Swami to me now. And it is what Swami will be to me for the rest of my life. The only word that we can use to describe Swami is prema. Swami is love, love, and love alone. There was an occasion when Swami visited the Institute Senior Boys Hostel in Prasanthi Nilayam. And on many occasions, I've had the chance of welcoming Swami when Swami would visit the hostel, either in the higher secondary school or the Senior Boys Hostel in Prasanthi Nilayam, by being a part of the welcome dance group. But on this occasion, yes, I did not take part. So I was trying to find a place in the pathway, and I was quite successful, so that as Swami enters and as Swami would leave, I would be as close as possible to Swami. And it was also those days when Swami did limp a bit. That was seen in his gait, and we were all very concerned that Swami has cured countless number of his devotees. Why is it that he cannot do something upon himself? And so this classmate next to me, as Swami was exiting the hostel, my classmate next to me rose up and urged Swami, Swami, please cure yourself. Well, if any son, if any child were to tell his or her mother that, please get well soon, please do something to get well soon, the mother will only be touched. The mother will be very pleased. But on this occasion, suddenly Swami's eyes turned red and he was extremely upset. And then Swami spoke just a few words. He said, from top to toe, right from the tip of his hair to the tip of his toe, it is just selflessness. Swami will never use any of his powers for himself. It is only for others, and for others. Why was Swami upset? Swami was upset because he felt that his true nature was not yet grasped by all of us. His true nature is selflessness. And Swami will go any length to ensure that we get better. Swami will go any length to ensure that our lives are filled with joy, even if it means trouble to himself. There was an occasion when Swami was to visit the institute auditorium in Prasanthi Nilayam and to address all the students. But apparently, for some strange reason, the previous night Swami's throat had gone sore and there was hardly any voice emerging. And later did we come to know that Swami was struggling to ensure that his voice is audible enough, because next day he was to address the students. He was constantly worried. What if my students would be disappointed? What if I am not loud enough for my students to be able to hear my voice? I also later learned that in the morning, there were red stains on Swami's pillow cover. That was the extent to which his throat was hurt. But the next morning, Swami traveled to the institute auditorium, still concerned whether his voice would be loud enough. And then in the discourse, in the auditorium, Swami mentions this entire episode and says that I am able to now speak, and the reason for that is your love for me. If at all there is one person who would even be ready to bleed for our sake, then it is Swami and Swami alone. Swami was so concerned. It was to that extent his throat was hurt. But all that he was interested in is that I have to address my students. They would be eagerly looking forward to my visit. They would want to hear me, and I do not want to be disappointing them in any manner. Therefore, there is only one description for God, and that is love. If an avatar would not have happened in our times, then we would have had to rely on scriptures like Ramayana or Bhagavatam to know what is the nature of the Supreme. There are many adjectives: Nirguna Brahma, Niranjana, Nishkriya, Nirvikalpa. But these are very abstract. It is because of the benevolence and the supreme mercy of the Lord that Swami mentions that it is not just 4 Purusharthas that are there for a human being of Dharma, Artha and Kama and Moksha. The Parama Prema, that is in fact a much higher Purushartha, and to impart and to motivate and inspire mankind to aspire for that beautiful relationship with the Lord is the purpose of the Advent. Going further, here you see a beautiful picture. I definitely cherish this. As students, we would want to do anything to get close to Swami. And I did see that, yes, I did get quite a number of chances when I was part of the Prasanthi dance group. But then my eyes were on the boys who were part of the drama group, who seemed to get a lot more opportunities to get close to Swami and interact with Bhagavan. So then I decided to shift gear in one of the sports meet occasions, and then auditioned for the drama. And then I was given the role to play of Narada. I felt very happy, right? Because Narada is constantly remembering Swami's name, Narayana, Narayana. And then there was this rehearsal. Swami too witnessed the rehearsal in the Institute auditorium. The final program was to be staged in Kulwant Hall. But somehow to the elders, it seemed that the worst performing actor was me. And they did mention publicly saying that if you do not know how to act, why is it that you even want to, audition and come? It's better you do something else. That broke my heart. I could not control my tears. I just slipped away from that session, went to my room, switched off the lights, spread out my mattress. I covered a towel on my face and I began shedding tears. Swami, I don't know. I want to be a part of this drama and I want to act for you. I want to be a part of the play and express my gratitude and love for you. If you do not want me to be a part of it, I don't mind. But only if you give me an indication, I will continue to be a part of this drama troupe. And then I kept praying. And just a few seconds later, one of my classmates, his name being Krishna, enters the room and he says, I have Satyanarayana Swami Puja Prasadam for you. I was thrilled. His name is Krishna, and the puja is of the beloved Ishta Devata of Narada, Satyanarayana, and the light in the room was switched off, so there was no way for him to know that I was inside. But then he straight walked up to my place and he handed that prasadam. I felt that this is a message from Swami, and no matter what anybody would think of my act on the stage, I would definitely be a part of this and give my best. And at the end of that play, Swami was so pleased. I could see it in Swami's eyes as he was blessing me with the cloth piece to stitch a new pair of white dress that he did give to all the other drama troupe members as well. Swami is love. He wants each one of us to rise up to the occasion and express ourselves from within and become closer and dear to him. Now, this word Narayana, which I'm very fascinated about, if we analyze its origin of the word, it is composed of two parts, Nara and Ayanam. Now, Ayanam means Sthanam. Sthanam means place of residence, and Naraha means man. The one whose permanent residence is but the heart of man, that is the meaning of Narayana. Swami also gives another beautiful explanation. Where can we find God? How can we find God? How can we capture the heart of God? So there's another meaning for Jalam, water in Sanskrit. Its synonym is again Nara. And Ayanam again is Sthanam. So Swami says, where does God reside? We think he resides in the eternal waters. No. His place of residence is in the Ananda Bashpa, is in the tears that roll down the cheeks of genuine devotees. So it's only when we get to that stage where the mere mention of Swami's name, where the mere visualization of Swami's form, where the mere thought of Swami brings tears to our eyes, then we truly know that he is present immanently in us and around us. So this, to play the role of Narada, and I did get multiple chances thereafter, and I somehow was blessed to play the role of Narada. And I thought it is a message from Swami that he is telling me to hold on to this principle of Narayana and to do Swami's Namasmarana. Another beautiful episode. So this, you can see, is an extract of a discourse that Swami delivered in the year 2008, 9th October, as part of the then Dasara celebrations. To be precise, the Vijayadashimi discourse, extremely significant. So the last few lines of the first paragraph that is displayed on the screen, Swami says, the left side of the chest of Lord Mahavishnu is the abode of Goddess Lakshmi. Seated in that sacred abode, she showers her grace on one and all. Lord Vishnu is also known as Narayana. Lord Narayana in this context does not refer to Lakshmi Narayana, but to this Satya Narayana. There was a thunderous applause in the entire Kulwant Hall. Yes, we all do know that Swami is the supreme advent. But on occasions when Swami reminds us, when Swami reiterates, when Swami re-emphasizes, it hits us. Yes, in whose proximity are we sitting? In whose presence have we all gathered? It is unfathomable. Of course, the human mind can't, just as an ant can't fathom the depth of an ocean, or a fly can't fathom the infinity of the universe. We cannot fathom the grandeur of Swami. But when he does reveal his identity through such casual statements, it is an overwhelming feeling of joy. It is a sense of immense gratitude. And then in the second paragraph, you can read, but this Satyanarayana is different. This Satyanarayana moves among people, cuts jokes, talks to them, and makes them happy. The Lakshmi Narayana reclines on the Adishesha, the serpent. Remember, this Satyanarayana too was rocked under the bed of a serpent when he was just a newborn baby. But remember, this Satyanarayana looks like any other ordinary human being. Yes, rest of the discourse, this part of the discourse is imprinted in the chambers of my heart. Rest of the discourse I really did not pay attention to, because I was just lost in the joy of in this revelation and in this infinite blessing. So when I went back to hostel, I wrote a small letter, and I said, Swami, yes, you are Satyanarayana, and I want to feel acknowledged that I am handing over this letter to that Satyanarayana who is the supreme entity, and I want you to accept. And if you accept that letter, meaning, of course, it is Swami, it is the Satyanarayana, but it is another level of reaffirmation of my greatest good fortune. And so I did write a small letter like this. I penned down the lyrics because I know that over time I might forget the contents of that letter. And this is exactly what was in that letter that I had offered to Swami. And Swami graciously smiled and accepted this small chit of paper. This is what I have penned down in my personal diary. We, the little tiny bud, growing in the garden of mud. Each one of us, tiny bud. Our time has not yet come. And this world is akin to the garden mud. Hope to blossom soon and inhale the divinity boon. It's only when we blossom fully that we will become the reflection of divinity. His boon will reflect upon all of us. Flowers of beauty, we pray, with fragrance of divinely spray, become we to offer sweet at Satyanarayana's lotus feet. So I had written this, and I just wanted Swami to accept this letter, a reaffirmation to me that I am handing over this letter to not anybody else, but to that unfathomable entity, to that infinity, to that person who is praised in the Vedas as the very summum bonum of life, to the very destination of entire mankind and creation, that I as a human being, a speck in this entire creation, had the opportunity to offer a letter to that supreme entity. And Swami did accept that letter a couple of days later, on the 13th of August in the year 2008. This is another beautiful occasion in the year 2010. So that is the year when I completed my master's in MBA finance, March 31st. And a couple of days later, Swami decided, probably it was already pre-decided, but then students did come to know that Swami is going to be undertaking a trip to Delhi and Shimla. There's a lot to narrate as far as this trip is concerned. But why is this trip extremely close to my heart? Because it was the very first time, as you probably would be able to recognize me seated onto Swami's right, half of my face is left, half of my face is visible, and my hands are placed on Swami's lotus feet. That is the very first time I got an opportunity to do Pada Seva for Swami, right? Swami's tender lotus feet. Who would not want to place their hands? Who would not want to place their eyes? Who would not want to place their very soul on that most blessed lotus feet? Yes, we stretched our hands. All of us had to share Swami's hands. All the boys around wanted to be a part of this Pada Seva, the greatest of blessings. So I too stretched my hands, got a little tiny portion of Swami's feet, and was doing as softly as possible. And Swami was, as he was listening to the songs offering by the singers, Swami looked at the boys who were doing the Pada Seva and said, in gestures, because Swami would speak very softly and very sparsely in those days. And Swami would ask, so Swami indicated, have you all not had food? No strength. Swami was trying to indicate to us, show me how hard can you press. And so we exerted all the muscle that we had in our arms, and still Swami gave a smile, saying that not enough. But of course, I was personally tensed. I did not want to hurt Swami. But of course, Swami is beyond any kind of hurt. But then it was beauty. That is the beauty of the mother. He wanted us to clasp his lotus feet. He wanted us to hold on to his feet as firmly as we do physically. It is just an indication to us, saying that hold on, not just touch Swami's feet, but hold on, grasp it firmly, hold on from in your mind and heart, and never ever let go our grip, our hold of Swami's lotus feet, come what may. That was the inner and beautiful message. On a lighter note, whenever you accompany Swami, the food is extremely sumptuous. It is elaborate. And at that age, just after having finished MBA, having had hostel food all the while for many years, 12 years, now becoming a, Swami's part of Swami's entourage, and then being Swami's guest, you get served a lot of delicious food. And I didn't keep a check on my tongue. I did enjoy thoroughly, but then it did not have a very pleasant, result, right? I felt sick. I had severe stomach pain, all complaints possible, indigestion, etc. And I was not fit enough to travel back to Delhi from Shimla. The rest of the boys did their journey from Shimla to Delhi through a bus that was arranged by Swami's organization. But since I was not so fit enough, I had to be flown down from Shimla to Delhi. Of course, Swami also flew down. It was a chartered plane. The first trip was just Swami and a few other elderly devotees. And in the second trip, I was the only student. It was on Swami's instruction that I was to be brought from Shimla to Delhi. Otherwise, I would suffer more while riding down the steep Ghat section, lest it would result in more discomfort for me. Swami was so gracious to consent that I could come back to Delhi in the flight. And after I did come back, so I did arrive much early, much before the rest of the students. So in the evening snack session, I was the only student, and Swami was at the head of the table. There were a few elders who were seated. And of course, Swami, brother Satyajit was there, and Swami casually asked him, who is that boy? And then he said, Swami, he's Swami's student and he's part of the group. And then Swami, as if he did not know, asked, why is he here? Where are rest of the students? And then Swami was told that I was unwell, and therefore I had to accompany the elders who came by flight, and therefore I have reached early. Then first thing Swami said is, go and ask him what food he would like to have. Such concern, such love. And so Brother Satyajit did come up to me and ask, and like at home, being used to, when we are not well, mother would say, have something light. Idli is probably preferred. So I straight away said, brother, I would like to have idli. I didn't have the presence of mind to say that whatever Swami wishes. Neither did I have the presence of mind to think that, I'm in Delhi. I'm not in Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad or in some part of South India where idli would be readily available. So I just demanded idli. And then he went and informed this to Swami. But Swami knows what was best, and Swami said no. And Swami asked that apple juice and milk to be arranged for me. Not a healthy combination to be consumed at one go, apple juice and milk, but that was the exact recipe for the problem that I was facing. Probably that was the exact medicine that Swami wanted me to consume. And so they in fact did ask Swami if a tetra pack of apple juice was okay, because fresh apples was not readily available in the kitchen. Swami had consented for that too, and that is what was given to me. And needless to say, I became perfectly fine immediately in about 30 minutes or so. So these are some beautiful recollections that Swami leaves us with. And this is the nature that, this is the kind of relationship that Swami has with each one of his devotees, with each one of his students. And I just feel extremely blessed to have had this kind of an opportunity. And after resetting the system, Swami gave additional instructions that I should not be joining for the last dinner that all the students had with would have with Swami, because the next day was the departure flight to Puttaparthi, and that I should not be joining. So that was a moment of sadness for me. One opportunity to dine with Swami is foregone. But then Swami also said that I should not be sleeping with the rest of the boys. Swami had entrusted me over to Dr. Das, who was also one of the personal doctors for Swami. He was a senior cardiologist. He has served for many years in Swami's super specialty hospitals. So Swami entrusted me unto Dr. Das's care. So I had to go over to the guest's room. A bed was arranged next to Dr. Das. And then my dinner comes. And what do I see in my plate? It is just rice and buttermilk. And I was wondering, how will I have this? I usually don't have this combination. So I was trying to negotiate, sir, some pickle, sir, some salt. And then Dr. Das was, this dinner menu has been decided by Swami for you. You better not, you will not get anything, whatever you ask. You have to eat whatever is given. Then I had no qualms, right? Whatever be the taste, it is the menu that Swami wanted me to consume that night. It was just plain rice and buttermilk. And that is what I had. And later, Swami did inquire, how is the boy? Has he got better? And Swami did mention that it is my responsibility, that it is Swami's responsibility that before the boy reaches home, meaning goes back to his parents, that he should be fit and fine. Because Swami has taken me for the trip. So it is Swami's responsibility to ensure that I go back as healthy as I had entered, as I was when I started the journey. Was I just as healthy as I started the journey onward with Swami? No, I was filled with much more love, much more strength, and much more heartfelt gratitude for Swami. This is another occasion during the summer vacations. Sometimes we would stay back in Prasanthi Nilayam just so that we get opportunities to, enact something in front of Swami, do a small play, whatsoever. And then there was this requirement that there is a need for somebody to play the role of Sita, because the short skit that was to be enacted in front of Swami was to be on the story of Rama, in the form of a Rama Katha that Lava and Kusha would sing, and in the background we would quickly depict the major scenes in the life story of Prabhu Shri Ramachandra. And so there were two Ramas whom you can see on the screen, and there were two Sitas, the Patabhisheka Rama and Sita, and the Vanavasa Rama and Sita. I jumped at that opportunity. I know that probably I will definitely not look so good, but how does it matter? Because if you were to don the role of a lady character, it is for sure that Swami would want to come and check whether the makeup is done well, whether the jewelry is appropriate, and more so because it is Sita, right? Sita was Swami's consort in his previous avatar. So definitely he wanted to make sure that Sita is portrayed well. So he did ask the Patabhishekam, the royally decked Sita, to stand up, looked at her from top to toe and was quite happy. Then he asked the Vanavasa Sita, and that is me standing there, and Swami was quite pleased. And this episode says that if you want to get close to Swami, we have to shed all our baggage, all our false identities, and be ready to don't put on any kind of garb, any kind of costume to get closer and dear to Swami, the way he would want us to be instruments in his mission. This again is a beautiful memory for me. This was another occasion, and significant conversation did take place. This was the time when Ratan Tata, the former chairman of the Tata Group, had visited Prasanthi Nilayam for the very first time. And Swami was very keen that his welcome must be through a very well practiced cultural program, and that it should be around human values. So accordingly, a script was prepared. We were trained, costumes, sets work, everything was done in a matter of just 3 days. It's unbelievable that something could have been done in such short time, but we know that when the energy comes from Swami, time and space are no barriers for us. And on that occasion, also I got an opportunity to play the role of Narada. Towards the end, Swami invited Sri Ratan Tata onto the stage, and for over 40 minutes, Swami had had a conversation with the students, with the teachers, with Ratan Tata sir, with all of us. And the topic of discussion at one point of time went towards the then prevailing disturbances that were happening in a few states related to Naxalism, some talks of division of states, and one of the senior teachers did express that such kind of unrest is prevailing in society at large, in India in particular. Swami was quick to stop the teacher from expressing anything more in that direction, and Swami said, no, no, no. No states, one India. States is just geographical boundaries, right, for administrative purposes. Rather, I should say they're just administrative boundaries, right? They're not geographical boundaries. But India is a certain spirit, and that our identity should never be with our state or our city, but we should always identify ourselves with the country, with the idea of Bharat. With Bharat, Swami would say, means bhava, raga, and tala. That is the unity of bhava, feeling. Raga, that is the sound, that is the voice, that is the words, and tala, that is the action. So wherever there is this unity of thought, word, and deed, that is true Bharat. And Swami emphatically said, one Bharat, no states. And of late, we have been seeing how our country is rising in the eyes of the whole world as an emerging nation, not just economically, but also spiritually, and is being proclaimed to rise to the level of Vishwaguru that it once stood in the history. And on that occasion, Swami also mentioned, pointing his finger to the entire crowd of students who had gathered to witness that play. And he just swept his arm like this, very gently, and he said, my students will clean the world, and that is their seva to me. It is not just about students, it is about anybody and everybody who is associated with the Sai mission, that we have a huge responsibility to live up to the message of Sai, to live up to the glory of Sai, to live up to the ever expanding love of Sai. And we should not confine ourselves to limited identities of zones, of organizations. No, it is humanity and it is Sai. There are only two entities. It is Sai and humanity. Rest all identities are just for operational conveniences and coordination. But if asked, we have to say that we belong to that one humanity, and our father is our beloved mother Sai, our father and our mother. And it is a huge responsibility for all of us. That is the same line that I had read back in the book of Richard Bach, in the book that titles Illusions, relating to the arrival of a Messiah. I think before the Q&A session, I probably have another 5 to 6 minutes. I'll stop at 12:20 and then take questions if anything. I'll proceed with sharing a few more experiences. And that brings me to the second part of this conversation, and that is Sanskrit. For some strange reason, I fell in love with this language right when I was in primary school. That's the first time that I even came to know about a language called Sanskrit. I would like to refer to it as Sanskritam here on. And many occasions I've had to give short talks of 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes in Swami's presence in Sanskritam. There was also an occasion when Swami had blessed all the students in the Brindavan campus to organize a Kavi Sammelan. So all the boys in their respective mother tongues would compose poems in praise of Swami, describing Swami's mission, Swami's form, Swami's words, Swami's feet, Swami's glory, and they would offer in their respective languages, more than 10 to 12 languages. I clearly saw that there was no one who claimed Sanskritam to be their mother tongue. I jumped at that opportunity, took the help of my revered teachers, and I did fulfill my wish of expressing my heart to Swami through the sacred language of Sanskritam by reciting a few padyams. Why is this language, and how is it that I got so close to it? One another reason was I was part of the Vedam group, and on one occasion, on many occasions, Swami would ask some of the senior Vedam teachers to translate the meaning of the Veda mantras. And so sometimes Swami has asked for the translation of Purusha Suktam, sometimes Narayana Suktam, sometimes Narayana Upanishad. And on one such occasion, after the translation had been completed line by line in Swami's presence, Swami then went on to speak a few words. And one of those sentences has, I think, stuck in my mind, more so maybe in my heart, where Swami mentioned that I would like that all of my students should learn Sanskritam and understand the meaning of the Vedas on their own. And they should put an effort to understand the meaning of the Vedas which they are chanting. So in some sense, I think that kind of goal got imprinted on my heart, and knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, explicitly, implicitly, I put a lot of effort to gather more knowledge and command over the language. And 20 years later, right, when this COVID struck, there was a lot of time. I also faced certain health issues, so I had to quit my job. I was mostly staying at home. And for some reason, I thought, okay, let me spend my time completing my basic and fundamental courses, and then took up advanced courses, then signed up for MA Sanskritam and did many other such sessions in writing, speaking, etc. And one day when I was going through some of the books in my cupboard at home, my eyes fell upon this one particular page that I had written 20 years earlier, while I was probably in my 10th standard. Something out of some inspiration, probably after having heard Swami's discourse. I came back to hostel, high spirits, penned down this saying that, okay, vision statement, to be able to creatively express anything and everything in Sanskrit with a view to be even able to translate Swami's discourses, all this only to please him and win his grace and love. Mission statement, on my way, I shall pick up anything related to Sanskrit and project it innovatively and creatively so that it's acceptable to one and all. Goal, like how a company or any project has a vision, mission, goal. In my own childish enthusiasm in class 10, I have written this, and I had totally forgotten. I never pursued this plan. We all are experts in making plans, promises, New Year promises. Like that, I am also no different, and I have totally forgotten. But 20 years later, when I chance encounter, I opened this book and I saw this page. I was stunned. Anything written in Swami's presence, anything intended to please Swami, Swami will fulfill the wish of ours so that we are able to please Swami, so that Swami can in turn shower his grace and love upon us. I had forgotten my own prayer, but here Swami had made all those prayers come true. Man might forget his prayers, but Swami will never forget even the smallest of wishes that have been made in his presence, keeping him in mind. It will come true sooner or later. That day, I was in so much joy. I ran around the house. I asked my mother to see it. I asked my father to see it. I showed it to my friends. I said, I can't believe it. Most of these things are coming true. Yes, I am able to now translate Swami's Chinnakatha into Sanskritam. I'm able to compose a few poems. Yes, I'm still waiting for that opportunity where I could probably stand in Swami's presence, and as Swami delivers his discourse, I want to be the translator and translate Swami's discourse in Sanskritam. That is one cherished wish. I know when the time comes, this wish will also be fulfilled. In the Sahasra Purna Chandra Darshana Yajnam that happened commemorating that glorious event, Swami wanted that all his students learn Vedam, and particularly Rudram. And Vedam classes had shifted from the hostel to Kulwant Hall. Swami would come and sit, and on the mic, two senior students would line by line chant the lines of Rudram, and the entire audience, all the students in particular, would repeat, and Swami would keep observing who are the students who are chanting, who are the students who are not chanting, who are confident, who are yet to pick up. And every day Swami would walk up to the warden and ask, how many students have learned Rudram? And warden would shudder, because to learn a mantram, it will take 1 or 2 days. But every day Swami wanted to know, today how many more? Every day Swami would ask. And Swami had mentioned earlier that, I want all of you to learn. I will call any one student in random, and I will ask him to chant. And if he does chant well, that Swami will also bless. And Swami did exactly that. And one day Swami randomly called upon one of the students, again, one of our classmates, Santosh and my classmate. Swami asked him to chant. He requested Swami, can I chant in the group? Swami would never accept that. Swami would want each student to chant individually and confidently. And so he did chant, and Swami was happy. And then Swami materialized a chain and blessed him. And on that occasion, probably I'll end today's session with this. I was so joyed with this, the Lord, from whose breath is Vedam, And he's taking so much effort that we chant it, that we learn it. And who is to gain from this extraordinary amount of exertion? It is only we who are going to gain. For our sake, Swami was ready to do anything. So Vedic chants we echoed in chorus, but selected he Rudram in focus. At 4 it started every day. Lines they made us say and say. Yes, these are simple childish poems, but to me they're very dear to my heart. There's just some simple rhyming words at the end, and that probably is what qualifies them to be a poem. But the joy that emerged or sprung in my heart, I had to express it, and I took to this form. Test, he says, his only taste. A boy he called went in haste. To him he gave a golden chain, grace and love like a shower of rain. Deadline, he said, was just 1 week. Rudram then soared at its highest peak. Chanting, he told, only in solo. Yes, we said, in obedient follow. How many ready? To the teacher beckoned. Over 100, he quickly reckoned. Loud and clear, by one and all. Yes, we shall, we promised all. Practice did we, day and night. Efforts we know are only right. Ah, mother's joy, a lovely sight, when our voices soared in all its might. There is a lot more to share, but I will pause at this moment. I'm conscious of the time. So I would like to ask the organizers that if I have to address any question. Yes.
We feel so blessed to hear to your talk this evening, reflecting on your personal journey and divine experiences of what it was living with Swami as a student. Your energy and passion towards having a goal and pleasing Swami is contagious and inspires everyone around you. The experiences you narrated took us back in time and reminisced the loving Leelas of our Sai Krishna and how he is always with us, in us, around us, always loving us and taking care of us. In interest of time, we have one question. Can you elaborate on your experience as being part of Mandir Vedam group and how chanting Vedam has helped you personally on your spiritual journey towards Bhagwan?
Yes, initially, I'm saying in primary school, all the students are taught Vedam. So it was just a part of the schedule, right? Like part of games, there's also a Vedam session. Like bhajan, there's also a Vedam session. So not much thought really went into while attending those sessions. But as we moved to higher secondary school and thereafter to institute, began to realize that yes, Swami wants us to learn Vedam and also understand its meaning and not stop there, but to put it into practice. So there was one occasion when Swami gave interview just to the Mandir Vedam boys. And Swami did that in 2 separate groups. First, he called all the younger boys, that is class 8th, 9th and 10th. And then he called another day the students of 11th, 12th and the institute boys. And Swami blessed all of us, granted an interview and blessed us. I said, what more can one ask for? And in that interview, we did ask this question. One of my senior brothers, he did ask this question to Swami. Swami, we are chanting, but we don't know the meaning as yet. Swami should guide us. And then Swami said, your duty is to learn and chant. Over time, the meaning will come to you. And that is the blessing Swami conferred on all of us. Yes, so we did stick to, it is not that we never put effort to try and understand the meaning. Our revered teachers, Pravina sir, Vedanarayan sir, Prushti sir, in the Brindavan campus, Shivkumar sir, Nandagopal sir, in the primary school, Prasanna madam, all of us would put a lot of effort to ensure that we get the pronunciation right, we get the intonation right, and at the same time, they would be telling us the meaning from time to time. Swami himself would tell. But it was this time in MBA, 2009 and 10, for some reason, I decided, or I was inspired to decide that I should be dedicated to the Mandir Vedam group and that I would not miss even a single evening session. So the Rudra, every day at 4 p.m. in the evening, the Vedam session would start with Sri Rudram Namakam and then Chamakam, followed by Purusha Suktam. And thereafter, in the 15 minutes that would remain, other Suktams and Mantrams could be offered. And this sequence was also decided by Swami. And there is a deep significance. It is even quoted in the Mahabharatam that this sequence of Rudram Namakam followed by Chamakam, followed by Purusha Suktam, is like chanting the entirety of the Vedam. The phalam that one would get by knowing the entire Vedam can be got by the combination of chanting these three on a regular basis. Oh my God. So God wants us to give the highest of fruit and wants us to give it to us in the easiest of manner. So he is ready to simplify it to any extent and bestow that fruit into our hands. And so I went day after day, and those were the most beautiful occasions. There are countless times when Swami would just come and sit in Sai Kulwant Hall and listen to the entire Vedam chanting. And because of being a part of the Mandir Vedam group, I did not know what it would mean to sit beyond third line. I would either be in the line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. That's it. So I had an opportunity in the year 2010. Now when I look back, just imagine those final days of the advent of the avatar. Because I had dedicated myself, I got his proximity. Vedam is that which takes us close to Swami. And some of those lines in the Vedam, which are imprinted in my heart, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Where is Swami? You cannot say Swami is not here, Swami is there, Swami is only here. No, Swami is everywhere. Adhascha Narayanah, Urdhvascha Narayanah, Antarbahishcha Narayanah, Etat Sarvam Narayanah, Nadvitiyosti Kaschit. These lines is a constant reaffirmation of the eternal truth. I just want to share one small thing. In the year 2011, March, it's unbelievable to me even now that was the last time that I had physical darshan of Swami, as Swami would come in rounds. By then I was back in Bangalore, went over to Parthi, and it was in the last week of March. Soon after that, all of us know that Swami was rushed to the super specialty hospital. So in that last week of March, it was either for me, it was the last physical darshan of Swami. And in that last physical darshan of Swami, Swami did come in the car. Sometimes he would get down, sometimes he would go back. But I was sitting in the old students block, which is in front of the huge shed where during the Ayudha Puja Dasara time, where Swami's golden chariot is placed. That is where the old students, former students of Swami's institution sit. And as Swami came close, I was not even in the first line, I was in the second line. Swami's window was down and Swami tossed a vibhuti packet. I felt extremely blessed. The last interaction with the avatar for me is a direct blessing of receiving Swami's vibhuti packet. Swami kept me in his mind. And I feel this commitment to Vedam, this sadhana of ensuring never to go away from Vedam, is to now dive deeper and understand the true meaning that it wants to impart to mankind. That is the first corpus of knowledge that God has lent to mankind. Sanatana Dharma rests on Vedam. It is the Upanishads that is the quintessence of the entire Vedic corpus. And Swami would make us chant directly in his presence. Taittiriya Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad. And Swami would narrate stories from Kathopanishad, tell us the quintessence of Mandukya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. All of these things, that is the bedrock of our civilization. That is the epicenter of the entire creation. And it is our bounden duty to ensure that the mission of Vedam that was restricted to a few sections of society, that countless invaders tried to remove that from our everyday living and culture, Swami has re-established. Veda Poshana is one of his significant avataric goals to achieve. And today, in every country, irrespective of age, caste, creed, race, Veda mantras are heard. I think but we should not stop at chanting. We should go deeper. We should connect to Swami through the Veda mantras. And thank you, brother, for asking this beautiful question.
Thank you, brother, for elaborating in detail the importance of chanting Vedam in our daily lives and making it as an integral part of our spiritual sadhana to connect towards Swami. I thank you once again for such a beautiful and heartfelt satsang. On behalf of the entire New Zealand Sai family, we offer our deepest gratitude to Brother Manoj Prakash for sharing his personal journey and reflections with us. We thank you sincerely for taking the time to be with us and enriching our spiritual path. For all the brothers and sisters who joined us today this evening, thank you so much once again for your loving presence and participation.
If I can be permitted to end with a small prayer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just a prayer. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to end this session with a prayer. Every day when you sit and pray, you ask me things which are needless. For the people you ask me to take care and bless are already in my protection, if they know me or not. I know them and love them. I take care of all's welfare. Then why do you give me chosen names when I stand in front of you? In your prayers each day, pray for what I have really come to give: faith in me and love for all, and attachment to none but that to self. Leave your worries at my feet, unburden yourself, and in your prayers ask me as to what it is you want. I know what you need. I have come to give it. So close your eyes and let me be the author of your prayers. Sai Ram.
As we come to the last segment to close, we'll conclude today's session with bhajans and aarti. We invite to stay with us and continue to soak in the divine vibration this evening. Jai Sai Ram.
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
पतिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन
परिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन
पतिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन
परिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
प्रणवाकारा शम्भो नन्दन
पतिपुरीशा पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
पार्वती नन्दन शुभानना
लम्बोदरा गणनाथ गजानन सत्य साई पादाम्बुजं भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
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 परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
सत्य साई पादाम्बुजं भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
सत्य साई पादाम्बुजं भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
परम पवित्रं पावन चरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
कलिमलदहनं श्रीगुरुचरणं
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
भवभयनाशन दुरितनिवारण
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
पतिपुरीश्वर पङ्कजचरणं
भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरम्
भज भज रे मानस निरन्तरं
सत्य साई पादाम्बुजं भज रे मानस निरन्तरम् शुक्लाम्बरधरं गणपतिमन्त्रं
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु मरि अन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरि अन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्रशयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ